I can't get you off my mind, okay?
Welcome to Bluegrass Brooklyn, our podcast all about the music we love, straight from the Bluegrass borough of Brooklyn, New York. Season 2, Episode 8, On the Road at Delfest Academy. I'm your host, Mike Wilner. Our co-host, Liz Wolf, has the week off. Every year at the Allegheny Fairgrounds near Cumberland, Maryland, Del McCoury and his family and organization put on an incredible festival where we have headliner bands, including Del and his band and the Travelin McCourys. We have jamming, vendors, all kinds of fun, camping, RVing, and I encourage you to check it out. Additionally, the 4 days before the festival starts, the McCourys host Delfest Academy, where a group of students, no more than 100 or 2, which is contrasted to the tens of thousands who will be joining for the festival, sit with world-class musicians, including members of the Travelin McCourys, and from the headliner bands this year, it was Sister Sadie, and take lessons, jam together, and just in general, bond over our favorite music. I wanted to share my experience with you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you, please follow us at Bluegrass Brooklyn on Instagram. That's Brooklyn is spelled B-K-L-Y-N. And if you're looking for jams in Upper Manhattan, Bronx, or Riverdale, check out bluegrassjamsnearme.com. Before we start, I just want to mention that on Saturday, June 21st, we have Porch Stomp, which is a major cultural festival here in New York on Governor's Island. Check out stage number 6, the Bluegrass Brooklyn stage. I'll be there. You'll get to hear some great music. We can say hi. We can do some podcasting. I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's roll. The Academy kicks off with lessons on your chosen instrument. I chose fiddle, and the instructors for these classes, which were about 2 hours per class twice a day, were Deanie Richardson, fiddler for Sister Sadie. And by the way, if you've not listened to Sister Sadie or heard Deanie fiddle, it's well worth a listen. She's a ferocious, brilliant, and imaginative fiddler, and she certainly made it into my top 10 after this experience. For the second day, the instructor was Chris Ward, who's the new fiddle player for the Del McCoury Band and the Travelin McCourys, and we'll get to speak to him in a little bit. First up, we had to choose some songs to learn. Deanie announced that she was going to teach us 3 fiddle tunes, and I felt that was ranging somewhere from ambitious to impossible, but Deanie was quite sure we could do it. She had confidence in us.
Googled Squirrel Hunters, and it's an Allegheny tune. We're in Allegheny County, so it's perfect. It's from Western PA.
Then we got to work. Deanie brought us through the tunes, keeping us in time, keeping us in rhythm, making sure we understood the nuances and the specifics of the tune. And lo and behold, we learned.
Let's do the B part. All right, listen to it first, okay? Listen and follow along on your paper while you're listening.
Along with instruction were healthy doses of encouragement.
Yeah! Good job, y'all. All right, that's 2 tunes down. Who remembers the Clinch Mountain?
So by the end of the lessons that day, I had added 3 tunes to my fiddle repertoire. I had learned to be brave and to really not limit myself when it comes to learning new tunes. And best of all, I'd met and gotten to know a really great fiddle player and a great personality in Deanie Richardson, and I look forward to listening to a lot more of her music. The next day's lessons were with Christian Ward. He was a talented and inspiring teacher. I learned a lot and got to speak with him afterwards a little bit about his experience of being inducted into the Del McCoury Band. Let's have a listen. So, Christian, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be here.
So this is not your first year at Delfest Academy, but It's your first year as the fiddle player for the McCourys.
That's right.
So here's what I wonder. What happens? Is it you're sitting there watching TV and you get a phone call like, hey, by the way, you've been selected? Or is it an audition? What's the process that you went through?
It was more of a gradual thing. Jason had a few shows that he couldn't make. He had just a weekend here and a gig there every few months, and they needed someone to hop in. And it kind of took me by surprise when Jason decided to do his own thing.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'd played a few gigs with both bands, and they knew me and knew my playing, and I knew them, so it fell into place.
World's most extended audition.
Exactly, yeah.
What were you doing before you joined the McCourys?
I've lived in Nashville for about the past 4 years, so I've been doing a lot of freelance fiddling and session work, picking up gigs with a whole bunch of different groups, different genres, although mainly bluegrass, or bluegrass adjacent, I'd say. And then I do a lot of songwriting as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's my other side of my musicality.
So let me ask you, songwriting process. Is it like a light bulb goes off and you just grab your paper and scribe it down? Or do you craft at it, or how does it work?
I haven't really had that experience in a long time. I wish that would happen again. It has happened, but it's unpredictable, and maybe it's just my songwriting cynicism coming through, but I don't always trust that as much as I used to, those bursts of inspiration. I find I have to be a little bit more diligent and craft things a little bit more these days. But it can happen that way, and I think it's good to be ready for that to happen.
So back to your current job. First time on stage with these guys as the official new fiddler, how did you handle that?
Well, I will say it was a little bit foggy exactly when that was, because like I said, I'd been filling in for Jason for some time, and then we were in the midst of a short West Coast run with Dell when Jason made his official announcement. It's a little foggy. I didn't really know if it was an audition or what really was going on. So then after that tour, it was made official, and I'm still in a state of disbelief a little bit. Every time that we play together, it's like, surely this can't be it, but it is, so it's great.
Jason was saying it's the best job in bluegrass.
Yeah, I think he'd be right in saying that. It's a really, really, really special group of people.
Now, toughest question of all. If you had to put 4 faces on your bluegrass fiddle Mount Rushmore, who would those 4 players be?
I think they'd look good right about there. What do you think?
Oh, that's right. We should put them on the side of the mountain here at the Allegheny Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allegheny Fairgrounds, Mount Rushmore.
Okay, I can visualize it better now.
There we go.
Gosh, that is so difficult. Like a lot of players, I started off listening to more modern fiddle players and then kind of worked my way back. Kenny Baker's got to be on there.
Yeah.
So I think I'm fair in saying putting him first.
So let me say, take the bluegrass out, just your 4 fiddle players.
Oh, fiddle players. Okay, just in general, yeah. Let's throw Sven Asmussen up there. Gosh, we got to put Stuart Duncan on there.
Everybody does. Every fiddle player asks this question.
He's a man.
Yep.
As far as me personally, oh gosh, I'd like to see Bobby Hicks on the mountain.
So we got 4.
Yeah, or can we extend it to 5? Cause
Make a Frankenstein mashup of the last one. 2 players together. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do a mashup of Hicks and Vassar.
Oh, Vassar Clemens.
Vassar's got to get on there too. He's, as far as somebody that contributed just a completely different approach to the instrument.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Listen, I really appreciate you taking time. And thanks for being here at the Academy and instructing. Looking forward to listening to you play.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great Academy.
Thank you.
A central part of the Delfest Academy experience is the Band Scramble. This is where everybody is randomly assigned to a band based on instrument. And it's players of all levels, experts, beginners, all clumped together in the same band. And you have about 2.5 days to get organized as a band, pick a song, practice that song for presentation, come up with a band name, and be ready to perform it. And the kicker, the Band Scramble competition is judged by members of the Travelin McCourys and the headliner band for the festival. It's a blind judging. They sit with their back to the to the bands and listen. And the band that wins gets to go up on the grandstand stage after Del opens the festival with his sound check. So you're talking about standing in front of thousands of people, all of the members of the Academy cheering you on, performing the song you did to win. So stakes are high.
It's that B part now.
The B part.
So we're splitting A and B. Yeah, somebody missed. There's a third break, right?
No.
No.
We split A and B.
No.
We're just splitting B.
That's what you guys did yesterday, but if you want to change
And so rehearsals began. We had to figure everything out. We had to figure out what song we wanted. We settled on listen to the radio. We had to figure out who was going to lead sing, harmony sing, how the breaks were going to be allocated. All of this had to be done pretty quickly. Sometimes there was complete agreement. Other times there was a lot of discussion. But that's part of the Band Scramble experience.
All right. Do you guys want to start from the top again?
Yeah, before we do that, let's talk a little bit more about how we want to finish it.
Okay. All right.
Because I was thinking we could do something, like a fast little end. So we'll be a little bit like a...
And after a bunch of rehearsals, the band started coming together. The song sounded good. The magic of Band Scramble was happening. We felt like we were ready to get up on stage and give it our all, and we all had our eye on that grandstand stage, the opening night of the festival. Before we go there, let's have a quick visit with Pete, who offers a pretty unique class here at Delfest. Let's take a listen. We're here with Pete, who is one of the instructors at the microphone and recording class here at Delfest Academy. Pete, thanks for taking time.
Sure.
First of all, how did you get started offering this course here at the Academy?
I'm friends with the guys in Del's band, and I came early to one of these Delfests, and they had the Academy going on. I think it was the first one. And kind of as a joke, I said, hey man, you should hire me to teach these kids where to point a microphone at their guitar and how far to stand away from a mic when they're singing. And they said, you know what, dude, that is a great idea. So the next year they created this class for me to teach at the Academy.
Where did you learn your sound engineering skills?
I've been fascinated with music and recording music since the 80s. So I've just recorded the Grateful Dead a bunch, got into acoustic music, set up a studio, produced some records. Just been fascinated by it the whole time. We got hired here at Delfest. A friend of mine has a company, digitalsoundboards.net, and they sell live recordings.
I see.
After we finish with the Academy, we record the festival and sell the CDs at the merch booth.
I hadn't realized how much skill and science went into sound engineering, and you guys laid it out for us.
From where I stand, I always thought Jerry Garcia did it all on stage. And then when I finally met the front of house engineer for the Grateful Dead, Dan Healy, it was a huge eye-opening experience to find out how involved he was in what I was hearing.
Yeah, I took the class last year. I took it again this year. I walked out of there with a completely new perspective. Now when I go to concerts and I'm hearing that the bass is a little too loud or I can't hear the voice, I'm not looking at the stage. I'm looking at the sound engineer saying, pull that voice up, man.
You always hope that the sound engineer cares,
A good sound engineer makes the show. What advice do you have for folks like myself, for example, who are interested in diving in deeper and getting more into the nuance of engineering?
There's lots to learn, but it's a fun thing to learn. It's immediate feedback. If it sounds better, you're good. It's a fascinating thing to do. And for me, it's always just been a joy. I've actually never done it as a full-time professional gig, so it keeps it as a joyful thing for me. I think that's important too, keeping joy in anything you do.
It comes through when you teach the class. Tell us a little bit about the skill of singing to a microphone.
Ronnie Bowman teaches a class here. He's a great songwriter and singer and guitar player, and he teaches a class on singing and songwriting with his wife, and talks about how if you're going to sing and if other people are going to hear you, you're singing into a microphone.
Yep.
So we can talk about singing as much as you want, but to actually learn how to sing into a microphone. How loud is my voice? What distance should I be away from it? What kind of microphone is it? There's so many things to learn. And how consistent can you be on the volume of your vocals coming out? And you see a big difference in just the people in the academy. You know? Yeah.
You host a regular jam.
I do a monthly series of bluegrass at the Tile Works in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
And what does that entail?
It's based on the old bluegrass festivals that Bill Monroe and the Flat and Scruggs and the Stanley Brothers used to play in eastern PA and the Maryland border there. They used to do Sunday afternoon concerts. And so that's what we've been doing. We've just been having shows from 1 to 5 or 1 to 6, get an ice cream truck, sell some nice craft beers, and it's a beautiful 100-year-old stone tile factory. We do the shows outside if the weather permits, and it's just a thrill to bring world-class bluegrass to Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Is there an online presence in case any of our listeners want to drop by?
Yeah, sure. You can go to www.thetileworks.org.
Hey, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And thanks for all the knowledge. You've opened my eyes to a lot of important things in terms of sound engineering.
Glad to hear it, man.
Do appreciate it.
Sound is the best.
Okay, so the band has been practicing together for a couple of days, and now it's time for the sound check. It's the Tuesday night sound check. Each band gets on stage, arrays themselves in front of the microphones as they will in the competition, and runs through their song to make sure they know where to stand, where to hold their instrument and everything. All of this is accomplished under the guidance of Vince, who is the manager of the sound check.
So you guys that have been here before, you know why we do this. It's for you to get comfortable with the microphones so that tomorrow you're not totally lost and it becomes a big disaster for your band. The other, and sometimes in some people's minds even more important, is so that we don't screw around too much, trying to get set up and figuring out where people...
I got a chance to catch up with Vince and talk to him about this sound check process and learn a little bit more. Let's have a listen. We're here with Vince, and Vince plays a very special part of Band Scramble. Vince, tell us what you do.
During the Band Scramble, I help the bands get used to using a mic. I noticed that they practice in a circle, playing to each other while they're preparing their songs. It became clear that once they ended up having to stand in front of all the mics on Wednesday morning, they were lost because they were used to looking at each other and they couldn't see each other at the actual competition. So we came up with the concept of the Tuesday night sound check to allow them to come in and practice their song in front of the mics, get set up and figure out who should stand where and how to play into the mics. And it's turned out pretty good. We've done it for the last 4 or 5 years. It starts 6 o'clock or so and goes till midnight. There's usually 10 or 11 bands. Everybody gets a half an hour, 40 minutes.
So it takes some stamina. I want the listeners to understand. We're talking about a band gets up for half an hour, but Vince is up for 5 or 6 hours directing us. And I think the last band gets the same kind of attention as the first band. What advice do you have for people getting into playing in front of microphones? So do you have any sage wisdom for them?
The biggest thing is that everyone has a fear of the microphone. They tend to stay 3 and 4 feet away and the microphone won't pick them up. Most of what I do at the sound check is try to get people to be not afraid of the microphone and get their instrument right up into it. I do the same thing, you know, I'll just not pay attention to what I'm doing with my guitar and I'm too far away from the mic, and that becomes a problem for the sound guy. The mic can only go so high without feedback. That basically is what it is. Learn how to use the mic, know the sweet spot of where your instrument should be near the mic, and then be there and stay there throughout the whole performance. And that's the best advice I could give to someone.
It's an important skill. We all feel a lot of gratitude to you because it's something we got to learn and you help a lot.
I love doing it. Tuesday night's my favorite time, and then people think I'm crazy for giving that 6 hours, but it's so much fun. I love it. I'll be doing it till I can't do it anymore.
Now we find ourselves standing on the stage looking outward, and as Vince said, we can't see each other. Suddenly the visual cues that we've been using in rehearsal are no longer useful. We have to now run through the song a few times and get used to singing to the microphones and working with each other in this configuration. several run-throughs, we get to a point where we feel, yep, we got the idea, we know where to stand, we know where to point our instruments, we're comfortable with our mic distance, and we think we're ready.
What do you think?
And now it's off to jam until midnight or 1 in the morning. And tomorrow is the actual competition. And of course, central to the Delfest Academy experience is the jamming. So much jamming going on all day, all evening, way into the early morning hours. All you had to do was walk around, listen to the thump of the bass, and follow that. You could just walk up to a circle and start playing. I found myself standing in a jam circle outside the RV of Dean and Betsy many, many times and enjoyed their hospitality and their playing. So I thought you might like to meet them.
Hey, this is Dean Englehart.
And this is Betsy Englehart.
Dean was a student at the Academy. Betsy was a hanger-on, is that what we said?
I was just chilling.
But we saw you around the jam circle more than once. Well, Dean, you were in the Academy.
I was in the Academy, yes.
For
Mandolin this year. I was guitar last year.
what made you make the big leap?
To mandolin? A 30-second version. I was playing guitar in my band, and our mandolin player left to go with another band, so we ended up with a banjo, a bass, and 2 guitars. So I decided I need to be the mandolin player.
Wow, okay. Necessity is the mother of invention, and Pat Pending is the father. Okay, who were you studying with in the Academy?
Ronnie McCoury, of course. Sean Lane and Rainey from Sister Sadie.
So what was your overall experience of the Academy?
Oh, 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. It was awesome.
Went up to 11. So what memory or event stuck in your mind about the Academy?
I always take away something from each teacher. So my lesson was Rainey was learning how to play Salt Spring. So I'm taking that away, and that's going to be in our rotation in our band.
Amazing. So you, on the other hand, were hanging out, but we saw you around the jam circle. You play the banjo.
I do play the banjo.
How long have you been at it?
It'll be 11 years in August.
I definitely feel a sense of a camaraderie and kinship with everybody in the Academy. We get really close. There's not all that many of us here.
Well, it is amazing during the festival. There's so many people. You see somebody from the Academy, you have that instant connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're family.
So you mentioned your band. Let's hear the name of the band where people can look you up online.
So we are the Screen Porch Pickers.
And we have a Facebook page.
Yeah, just look up Screen Porch Pickers on Facebook. Like us, join us. Our next big gig is probably the Crossroad Festival.
Yes, Nottingham, Pennsylvania, for October 19th.
All right. Alrighty, thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your
Hey,
time.
thank you, Mike. Hey, say hello to Liz.
Oh, yeah, that's a shout out to Liz Wolf. Okay, guys, have fun at the festival. Everyone seemed to be experiencing the magic and the joy of Delfest Academy. Ken, you were at the Academy, right?
Yeah, this is my, I don't know, 4th, maybe 5th one.
What do you play?
I actually am a singer. I learned to play guitar so I'd have something to sing with, and then fell in love with bluegrass, and so I'm a guitar player, and I've done my first 2 academies with that, and then I did 1 year on Mando, and then this year I did bass.
Wow, that's all over the place. Which is your favorite one?
Oh, guitar, because I'm best at it, and I struggle with the Mando, and the bass is just so darn big. I don't want to have to be the guy carrying the bass around all the time.
Of all the experiences you had at the Academy, what sticks in your mind the most?
Oh, it's the jams. Absolutely. During the Academy, we were just jamming constantly. I tell these guys, man, if I wasn't able to go to a single class or see a single concert or performance, I'd still be okay, because that's the magic. And all that other stuff is just the gems on top of that beautiful experience. And, the classes you get, hearing the stories, getting some tips. Man, Katie from Sister Sadie, she taught me more about music in those classes than I think I've ever learned in my life. And of course, playing with the McCourys, taking vocal classes from Ronnie Bowman. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Coming back next year?
Of course. I tell Lisa, man, I'm coming till I can't pick or sing,
That's it. Well, hopefully that's no time soon. So we'll see you next year.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thanks for your time. As much as I wanted to stay up all night and jam, and I know Liz would chide me for calling it a night before 2 in the morning, but that next day we had our competition. We were going up on stage and making our bid to be the winner of the Band Scramble competition. time had come. Thursday evening, opening night of the festival, Del was wrapping up his sound check and announced that the Band Scramble winners, because there were 2 bands tied for first, were going to be coming up shortly.
Oh, now I tell you what, we got 2 winners in the contest, you know. Yeah. They tied for first place, so we've got to give them plenty of time up here on stage to pick a tune or something. Yeah, we did. How about that sunshine, huh?
Out onto the stage stepped Rob McCoury and his wife Lisa, who is the mastermind of the Delfest Academy, to announce the winners.
Hey folks, prior to the festival kicking off, my wife Lisa heads up an academy where we teach folks for a few days, and it's a great thing. You should come check it out sometime. Big shout out to all these academy students up here. Woo! Thank you for making it a success and making it such a fun time for us all. We do what's called a band scramble. We blind judge a whole bunch of people that are thrown together into a band. They probably don't know each other, maybe never played a lick together. And we pick out who we think's the best. Well, this year we had a dead tie. So instead of doing a tiebreaker, we're gonna let them both perform.
We didn't win, but some really great bands did. We all had an incredible time, and what a wonderful way to conclude the Delfest Academy and kick off this incredible festival, 4 days of music, fun, and more jamming. Anybody who heads down to Delfest in Cumberland, Maryland is going to have a great time. And if you're there next year, I'll see you, and maybe we'll be talking on the podcast then. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. Great experience. We hope you enjoyed it. We've got some great episodes coming up. We'll be going on the road again to Australia. We've got some incredible guests. And please remember to follow us at Bluegrass Brooklyn, spelled BKLYN. If you want to know about jams in Uptown Manhattan and the Bronx and Riverdale, go to bluegrassjamsnearme.com. And until next time, we hope to see you around the jam circle.
Her name is Jeannie Pruitt. She recorded this song years ago. Now, we liked it, me and the boys, and so we recorded it. Count Me Out.